Hi, welcome back to another episode of Geekified. As far as I'm concerned, this film deserves no introduction because it was a whole big lot of. Sorry, Nathan. Welcome to Geekified. As you can possibly tell, I'm a wee bit pissed off about this film. Just a little bit. And I've even stole my co-host's wonderful tagline as an introduction to this absolute gluttony of McFlaps. I have no words for how bad this film was. I'm not even going to... Should we even name it? Does it feel scandalous?
A wee clue behind me.
Yeah, wee clue behind you. Jurassic Farce is one of the best I could call it. It's Jurassic Farce. Now, I'm ranting about this because do you know when your mother said to you, like, when you did something wrong at school, and she says, "I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed." That's it. That's how I feel, Colin Trevorrow. If you see this, I'm not angry at you. I'm just really disappointed. That was my childhood, and you just
I'll give you my three biggest problems with this movie, right? Number one, they're all to do with the script, right? Number one, so you've got all these massive dinosaurs which can go anywhere. They're in the population ever, doing everything, and they decide to make the biggest threat locusts. Right? Number one. Number two, the main sort of bad antagonist in this is this guy runs a big tech company, but apparently they haven't discovered biometric ways to get into rooms and stuff yet. You know, they still use, you know. Number three, they bought the world's slowest Hyperloop. It's like, you know, they're in this thing that's going, you even watch it on the screen going, and you're like, it's supposed to be a fucking Hyperloop.
Those things are supposed to, like, the whole theory of those things is they go like 500 mile an hour or something like that. Like
twice the speed of sound or something. And there's like, this thing's like, it was like something from Austin Powers.
Watch out! Watch out!
Oh, dude, like, I don't know. I don't even know where to begin with how bad this is.
Because even like the dinosaurs were sort of like an afterthought in it, bizarrely. You know, it started off and I thought, this is probably not going to be great, you know, because apparently nowadays, you know, you go to a remote area and build a big high-tech cabin in the forest and no one figures out that you're there. Another big plot hole. No one cares about the Blue Raptor. Yeah. No one cares about it. Why is it still
Pratt on his own little sideline
thing? Bryce Dallas Howard needs to stick to directing Mandalorian episodes because she can't act for shit.
Yeah.
Chris Pratt is a very unbelievable action hero.
Yeah.
I don't mind him, and like Guardians of the Galaxy is a bit more of a sort of the comedy side of him comes out, but in this he's just, I mean, the whole movie. I mean, what is this about? This thing with Dinah, which they all apparently that stops a T-Rex.
Yeah, I got it from the last one because he's a trainer.
No, but then Sam Neill starts doing it as well at one point.
But so does the wee girl. They're all sitting as if they're doing some sort of little mini.
I just think it's followed the same pattern as the first, the Jurassic Park sequence. First one really good, second one and third one utter pish. Yeah. And they've done it again with these three. It's just like they didn't seem to know where to go with the stories. They just brought in this ridiculous thing with these giant locusts, and I'm just like, no one cared. And then there was no point in having Laura Dern and Sam Neill in it. There could have been anybody.
Yeah. There was. Do you know what? As like, well, one of the other guys that went to see it, Nick from a team, he said it feels like a paycheck for the old guard. Yeah. That was his quote, and that's exactly what it was.
For everybody's dialed it in, and just, I mean, I always forget the actress's name. The girl who played the sort of the go-between between the chemical company, the sort of Asian girl who's wearing the white thing in Malta. I've seen her in a few things, and she's normally quite sort of kick-ass and quite good. And this was just very Yeah, what, she's got this stupid laser pointer. Oh my God,
Yeah,
man.
so her name's Gretchen Lachlan, I think, off the top of my
Something
head.
like that, yeah.
She's famously worked on some of the best sci-fi stuff, but
Yeah.
underused.
The stupid pointer. That was it.
Yeah. I've got a laser pen, therefore I can attack you with a raptor.
Therefore, this raptor will see that from miles away. This tiny little red dot on somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
I wasn't expecting that much from it. I thought it might have been a bit of, they tried to be too serious with it. Just it lasted far too 2.5 hours. This movie was so much filler in it. And like I said, there was
2.5 hours. That's my issue. It actually felt like 2.5 hours.
Yeah. And it was just it's like I said, the dinosaurs were an afterthought in it.
Yeah.
Some of that's about that girl that no one really cared about, the clone, and then there's dinosaurs in the. Oh right, okay, there's dinosaurs there, but these big insects.
This girl with the clone was like, here's a story that could turn into being a whole part of the movie about like cloning and stuff, and then she's kind of forgotten about halfway through, and then she's kind of important again, and then she's kind of forgotten about.
And the other thing is, right, so this guy's I always forget the name of the actor, the guy who played the main bad guy in this, I forget his name.
But that was basically Tim Cook from Apple.
It seems to be Hollywood's favorite thing now. Let's just shit on big industry because everyone hates them. So it's a really easy. It's like it's the old like Russian guy, isn't it? Is the old is the new bad guy, or for a while in the 90s and 2000s it was the Arabic guy who was the bad guy, and now it's the CEO of some company.
Yeah.
But even just that, it's like. So he builds this thing. He builds this the fail-safe built into the locust pen to burn them. And it doesn't even fucking work.
I know.
The guy's like the worst like tech guy in the world.
Yeah, and it's like a comedy of errors. He lets them free, and the next thing you know, it's burning down the whole fucking island. You're like, I see when it did that, and then the whole island went on fire. I actually sat next to my pal and went, "Oh, for fuck's sake."
Yeah.
But I mean, like, so just going back to the script, because obviously, like, the script I think was one of the worst scripts I have seen in a blockbuster for quite some time.
Yeah, and the worst thing for me is this movie's going to make a lot of money. It did 150 million its opening weekend.
Yeah,
it's gonna probably make 500-600 million dollars in the US, probably some more worldwide, and just it pains me when there's such good. I mean, luckily Maverick's still doing really well, so that might slow it down a little bit. And obviously you've got Thor coming out in about 3 weeks, isn't it? 4 weeks.
That'll probably kill it. I think the negative reviews are slowing it down. I definitely think it is. It's not going to hit the pace that I think it would have, because it is literally getting absolutely ripped apart, and for very good reason. Very good reason. It's fucking terrible.
It's just it's one of those we've talked a lot when we did our review of Maverick, going on about sometimes going to cinema is just about having fun, right? And that's what the Jurassic Park original film was. It was just a fun movie to go and watch, And this one decided to try and insert meanings and themes, and look at what we're doing to the world stuff. Which I understand that these things are important, but not for a summer blockbuster about dinosaurs. It should be about dinosaurs, and it's not.
The opening and closing of this film is literally a news report. Could you be any more cliche? Like, honest to God, it felt like such a B movie opening to some woman walking, going, and it's been 100 years since we've done this, and then now we're looking to look at the bison who are now developing something for the. And I'm like,
even some of the CGI for the dinosaurs was atrocious. Really bad, and I'm sure they spent a lot of money on it. But the bit with at the start when the baby raptor first comes to the camp with the kids there, it's like somebody had drawn it on with pencil.
Mate, I'm not kidding. Like, you know who I forgot his name, Harryhausen, who did all the famous stop motion, like Jason and the Argonauts and all that. Is it Harryhausen?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something along those lines. It's like it was like that every single day. I mean, like, you genuinely, I'm not kidding. If you're going to go and see this film, this was like the Raptor, as we call it, and it just went
basically
like that. I mean, it was like so jittery, so jumpy. I mean,
what sort of name to give to make it dinosaur? Giganotosaurus. Come on, man. It's not a bad guy from a Godzilla movie.
Yeah, I mean, I think like, do you know what? I actually thought this partway through this movie. So when to the let's just forget. I genuinely was lost all care by this point when the T-Rex was fighting this other thing, and I actually sat and thought, Godzilla versus Kong was better than this. I sat and thought that, and I was like, no, wait a minute. I'm thinking like the visual look of it, of Godzilla versus Kong, was gorgeous. It was stunning. It was just these two monsters flailing about through buildings. And that's what this should have been. And except it was an absolute used wet wipe of a fight.
Yeah,
and then
terrible.
little fucking clawy person comes along, stop, stop. And you're like, no.
The big nails.
No, I know, like looking fabulous. No,
man, it's just I mean, like I said, I wasn't holding out that much hope for it, but I thought, you know what, it might be a bit of fun. But they took it there far too seriously. This movie,
it really did. And I'm sorry.
Yeah. And even Jeff Goldblum, I love Jeff Goldblum, and this is the worst thing I've ever seen him. He was terrible in it.
Jeff Goldblum didn't have one funny line.
No.
Not one funny line. Didn't find anything funny at all. There's two parts that I want to bring up that were shocking for me, like shockingly bad. It was when, I think it was a T-Rex or the other Tyrannosaurus that was coming. whatever that was, that was fucking...
The Giganotosaurus.
That's that guy. So
I'm sure I saw him fighting Optimus Prime in the last Transformers movie. Like,
it would have been more believable if Optimus Prime actually turned up for a fight, and I would probably have enjoyed it more. But they're basically fighting this, not fighting it. It's coming in and it's trying to bite them. They're climbing up this tower, and they kind of ran away from it from the car, kind of as a reflection of the old one. And they went up the tower and they get in, and this thing is like snapping its head through the window and snapping at them. Every single one of the characters, and I mean every single one of them, there was 6 in the room all running. Everyone went through their peril at that point. So every single one of them slipped, fell, the wall was bitten, they dropped something, they got
a couple of them almost fell off and stuff like that.
Almost bit, and it literally went through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's us done. Let's move on to the next scene. And I was like, I watched it and I was genuinely sitting there going, this is like, we have to put somebody in peril. We have to have the kind of drama, and it was so cheap.
Yeah, and at no point did you think any of them were in any real peril. You know,
no.
There's some movies you watch and you think you know that the main guy is not going to die, but a few times you go, oh no, it's going to be closer. It's going to be closer. But at no point in this did I think any of the main characters were in any sort of danger.
Yeah,
you know, even the they broke into that place so easily. You know,
exactly. There was. Yeah. I'm trying to think of the other. So the other bit that I want to talk about as well was, I can't remember now.
They were all so bad.
There were also, but there's so many bad. I'm sorry, people, if anyone's watching this. It's god awful. But yeah, I honestly, I'm scunnered. I'm so disappointed, and that's what I mean. Is like when I say that with all actual meaning. When your parents say, "I'm not angry, I'm disappointed," and that's why I'm with this film.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
I grew up as Jurassic Park was one of the first big blockbusters I've seen.
So I was going to say it was the first movie I sort of remember properly. I would have been, was it 1990, wasn't it? So I would have been 12 when it came out. And it was like, you go up to cinema, queues around the block, everybody went to see it. Everyone else went to see it 2, 3, 4 times. It was the first sort of mega blockbuster that I really remember. And to go from that to this is just so disappointing, man.
Yeah, it was really sad. And then I'll tell you one thing, obviously we're not actually done a review on this show, actually at all, ever, which is weird. Stranger Things. So I had the last episode of Stranger Things to watch after I came out of the cinema. And me and the same person I went to the cinema sat and put it on. And I am not kidding. Just one scene of Stranger Things managed to capture more energy, more cinematography, and better direction. And it was all it was a set in a prison. And it was better than any of the scenes that I'd just seen in Jurassic Park. And that for me, it doesn't come from the script. That's your director. So that director just wasn't thinking, wasn't looking, and was just, I don't know what happened. It feels, and I say this a few times, Nathan, I've said this a few times, when the studio meddles, and it feels like there was maybe 1 million people involved in the cut.
I just think that they, you know, for me, I came out of thinking, right, so the writers get in a room, the people making the movie get in a room to think about, right, we're going to do this. We're going to do our Jurassic Park movie, Jurassic World, whatever they want to call it, world movie. All right, cool. Chris Pratt's coming back. All the main characters coming back. Cool. We're going to get some of the old ones back as well. Cool. Right, what are we going to do it about? Can we do it about a T-Rex invasion? We do that? No. Let's do it about insects. And somebody went, yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
That's the thing that baffles me the most. I just like, I'm not saying that these things, the world's crops getting devastated. It's a horrific idea, but it doesn't make for a good movie.
No, it doesn't. Why would you? Shit, and it's been done many times.
Why would you? If you remember the first of the reboots of the Planet of the Apes movies with James Franco, that bit at the start when the monkeys and get out, it's basically that, but with insects, and just like it's been done so many times. And that the Wong or Wu, the scientist, it's just like he's such a poor character in it. Just like I don't care. Why? Oh my God! Let all these insects out. They cry for the whole movie because of it. Like, come on, I'm going to figure out how to fix it. It's so easy, but I can't do it. Oh, shut up, man! Of course you can. Just take one of those bloody big locusts, figure it out, and chuck it out the window.
Which is what they did.
I know.
What was the whole point of that was it at the end of the movie? Like, oh, here we've solved it.
Yeah.
And now all the dinosaurs and humans can live in peace. Off. So I'm causing myself so much bleepage usage in this, but seriously, Colin Trevorrow and everyone who's involved in Jurassic World, off.
I mean, they have said they're not going to make any more, which is thank God. Thank God.
Yeah, please leave it alone.
Even like I said, I thought the first one, Jurassic World, was pretty good. It was okay. It's what it's supposed to be. Yeah. The second movie. I found a bit dull, but nothing too offensive. The dinosaurs were still the main attraction of the movie, and then I still don't understand why you go away from what makes Jurassic Park great. It's the dinosaurs and make them the bad guys, whatever you want to look at, the terror, the danger, make it them. And then I just think there was no point when I thought any of the dinosaurs were going to cause any trouble to anybody.
Dude, one of the, again, I know we've already kind of said spoilers, but one of the final scenes of this movie is literally a dinosaur giving a knowing wink to somebody.
Yeah.
It's literally Blue and Chris Pratt's character are literally looking, the two of them look at each other, and Chris Pratt's like, the dinosaur goes, what? And then fucks off. You're like, no.
Yeah, a raptor, They spend 5 movies going about how they're the most dangerous animals there's ever been, and suddenly he's got a pet one, his best mate, Blue. I promised I would I'd save that. But yeah, because they speak English, don't they?
Yeah, because you're like, I'll get your daughter or boy or
I'll bring her up. And Chris Pratt does that stupid look that he does.
It was the best analogy I can give for this film is it felt like there was 5 directors, directors, all involved, all making all their own bits of the movie.
And they were all really drunk when they were doing it.
No, only one of them's good. The rest of them are students. One.
I don't understand how there's so much editing goes on right nowadays, and like you said, studios get involved and stuff like that. So how do they leave in so much guff? Like it's 2.5 hour movie. This should have been a 90-minute, 110-minute movie. It's that sort of. It's a popcorn movie, and it shouldn't be 2.5 hours long. Because especially when it's such a dearth of story, the story was, let's these go and find him on a dig, because that's what they did in the first movie. They tried to do the sort of things that Top Gun did really well. Bring back these things in it to make it like resonate with the original movie, but they just made it really cheesy. Like we're going to do this, but there's absolutely no point in us doing it. Yeah. We're going to get this guy to come and help. We're going to get this guy who's the greatest paleontologist in the world to come and help, just so he can be a witness for her. I mean, what a ridiculous story! You can take anybody with you. Why are you taking him? And at no point did he do anything to do with dinosaurs, which is what he's an expert on.
Next to none. There was literally next to none.
Yeah,
as I'm saying, it's beyond ridiculous how far they stretched this whole film, and I have no idea how you couldn't have come up with a better idea than what they had. It's not hard.
Yeah, a T-Rex wrecking. There's a family of 5 T-Rexes wrecking New York. That's a better movie.
Dude, I mean, I think anything, any sort of CGs with dinosaurs. Think how good Jurassic Park was and call it Alien, and then think how good the sequel to Alien was, Aliens. and do the exact same thing. Just have dinosaurs literally invading in this horror aspect. There was a short movie came out, and it showed you the T-Rex at a cinema, like an open air cinema. That had more tension than the whole movie put together. Whoever tried that, that could not have been Colin Trevorrow, because I'm so disappointed in that guy.
This film is worse than Army of the Dead.
Don't even start me. Sorry, you broke up there, Nathan. You broke up. Couldn't hear you.
Worse than Army of the Dead, man. Do
you know what? This is all right, because I like Army of the Dead. I thought Army of the Dead was a check your brain out, absolutely ridiculous nonsense movie.
That's what this should have been. You know, this
is what this film should be. It's so bad. So I don't know.
Like I said to you, the thing I said to you was, if I'd been sat at home, I would have turned it off.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, because I went to the cinema and I paid for to see it, and it was a nice new cinema, so it was nice comfy seats. So I sort of stayed, but I was like moving in my chair, itching about, checking the time, thinking, oh, it must be nearly over now. You know,
you seen. I was messaging during the film to our film group. I was literally sending messages going, I'm I kid you not.
To the tiles.
Yeah, I kid you not. Screen 7 in Cineworld in Glasgow has got 654 tiles on its roof. Says it all, doesn't it? It really says it all. I don't even know what was on the screen at the time, but I was that absolutely distracted and bored. And
the other thing I thought was, you know, even the girl, she's the clone of this other girl, right? And that other girl wasn't even a character in any of the first movies. So
apparently she was in the last Jurassic World.
Well, like very briefly though.
It must have been, yeah, because I looked to see I thought I'd seen her in something.
I don't understand why you don't make that. Make it a clone of the kids that were in the first Jurassic World movie or something, because it was to do with it was a science. Wasn't even she hasn't related to Hammond. It's a scientist that worked for Hammond's daughter or something. It's just like you've just put in like so many degrees of separation, which takes away any sort of connection you have with that character.
Honestly, I have no idea. I'm disgusted. Disappointed is a strong part of this. I don't even know how to close this. I don't even know how to rate it. I don't even know what to say about it.
I don't think it even deserves a rating.
I'm not giving it a rating.
Yeah.
I think my rating for this movie is go see Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, and for me, although it's going to make a lot of money, it's a B movie. You know, not even a B movie. You know, like a bad creature feature from the 60s or something. You know, like a really bad one.
So there you have it. That's possibly one of the worst reviews from one of the biggest blockbuster movies. Sorry. So there you have it. That is one of the worst reviews that you've heard coming from us towards one of the biggest blockbuster movies of 2022. It's one of the movies that I think most of us, I was looking forward to this. I went to see, it's not very often I go the first week to see it because I hate busy cinemas. I can't be bored with it. But I went to the cinema to go and see this like on its first week, and it's absolutely god awful. So yeah.
Don't go and watch it. Don't go watch it.
Top Gun Maverick's great. Go see that. If you watch this now and you think like, what am I going to do? Go see Top Gun Maverick, because that's an actually excellent film. Well, there you go. Thank you very much for joining us, Nathan.
Always a pleasure.
Please remember to like and subscribe, and we will be back with you soon with another review. We can do this all day.